So now you've seen what the toolbox is and why it is important, why we need it. And my goal now is to explain this part. So you might be wondering if all implementations will go directly into the toolbox. So short answer is no, as you've seen. So how are implementations listed then? And in order to have only curated implementations in the toolbox, we have developed an validation scheme. So the DSSC will deliver this validation and approval framework for the implementations, both for the technical, but also for the business and organizational ones. It will be carried out through automated self-assessments. And these self-assessments will be aligned with the blueprint, with the specifications of the building blocks that can be found in the blueprint. Regarding the content of the self-assessment, so we will have some more generic data. So regarding implementation metadata, some examples you can see here, but then we will have some specific questions about the implementations. Okay, so generic data that we need also to be able to filter out and make it easier for others to find the right implementations, and then specific questions regarding the components that were shown previously. And with both types of information, we will create a self-assessment for every component. And then the implementations that successfully complete the self-assessment will be listed in the toolbox. And why are we doing this? So which are the benefits of this validation scheme? We have different types of participants, so we try to think what are the benefits for them. So first, for solution providers, they will be able to assess their technical components against the blueprint specifications to see if they are compliant to what the DSSC has defined in the blueprint. And they also have the advantage that if they are compliant, the implementations will be listed in the toolbox for other participants to find. In the case of data space authorities, they can check, they can assess if their alignment, if their data space is aligned to the organizational and business building blocks. And in the case of data space participants in general, they will have this catalog of curated and validated implementations in the toolbox. Here you have an overview of the validation process. So for the applicant, the way to prepare for this is to check the blueprint, the specifications there, and see if the implementation is compliant, is meeting the requirements of the specifications. In the case, if this is the case, they can apply for this validation. And if they submit this, if they fill out this self-assessment and everything is right, and we check and they are compliant, their implementation will be published, as Michiel explained, in this kind of format using the radar. So we are in charge of publishing this, but we're also in charge of the maintenance. And this is an important point because we will have new versions of the blueprint. That means we will update specifications. We need to make sure that all the self-assessments comply with these specifications, so with the latest version of the blueprint. And we also need to make sure that in the toolbox, you are able to find to which blueprint version this implementation is compliant. So this is on the DSSC side. So we will be in charge of this roadmap and the maintenance of the validation scheme.